The next thing we're going to look at is using the context and also expressions. Now both of those won't make any difference to the user, it doesn't change the report, but it'll make your code much more maintainable and also to make reusable parts of your code. So to help explain that, I'm just going to copy the month of value getter up to the top and put it alongside the salt class rules. Now the problem with all of this here is that they're both accessing the selected month. The selected month is defined out here, so closure is being used in order to provide that value to the two different functions. This application right in front of us is quite small. If this was a larger reporting application, it's probable that closure won't be available, that you'd have to put that function somewhere globally for them to access it. So what the context allows is for these functions here to be able to operate without having any dependency outside the function, and we do that by using the grid's context. Now the context we put onto the grid like this, and that's it. Now the grid does not use the context at all. The context is simply passed to all the different callbacks that the grid uses. So it's a mechanism for your application to put in key value pairs, and then those key value pairs are available to your value exterior, to the value getters, to the cell renderers, etc. So inside the context here, we're going to define the selected month. Which means we can take it off here. Now for the functions, rather than using the globally or the selected month, which we were accessing via closure, we get it off the params. It was also being accessed further on down below here. And then here. Okay, I'll just make sure that this is still working. Yes, it is. And it's taken it off the context. Cool. Okay, that means we could even move these completely out of the running function, just to demonstrate that these could come from a library. And it still works. Excuse me. Okay, let's bring these back in just for tidiness. Now, something else that I would like to do is I want to change these value getters into expressions. And I want to do that because I want to only have JSON inside my grid options, so that I can store that in a database. The expressions look the exact same as the value getters, except it's a string. So instead of having the month value getter as a function, we do this. And we return back the string equivalent of this. So if we rewrite this to this is the same as the if else up here. We don't need a return statement. We'll cut this, put it in here, and to get params, the context is ctx. To get params, the called f is the called f. To get params, to get the params, the called f is the called f. Params, data, called f, field, actual. It's a string. And now I can take this away. So I've effectively just put the rule, the business rule in here, instead of having to use this larger function. Again, the benefit here is, well, there's less code, it's easier to write, and these business rules can be stored in a database or offline. They don't need to be part of your JavaScript. Let's do the same with the self class rules. So we'll take a copy, we'll work with these. Actual, this can be a string. This can be a string as well. And the value is x. Take this out, and the report should still work. So again, this code here is shorter, easier to maintain, and it's quite descriptive. So this is effectively the business rules that we're applying to the data to describe how the formatting should be done. So we can, this is all we need to highlight a negative row as red. Now there is one other one here, which is the value getter for the header name. I can do that one as well, but it's a bit more complex. It's not possible to formulate this as just one row, or I beg your pardon, as one piece of code. So whereas the ones up here, this is effectively behind the scenes, the AG grid is putting this into a function and it's returning the execution of it, which is fine if you can specify your rule in just one line of code. So what the grid actually does is, if it doesn't find a return statement in your expression, it'll put one in for you, and that's what it'll execute. If it does find one, it will leave it be, and that's how you can have multi-line expressions. So for this one here, I'll open my string, take away the function, close my string. Now this is multi-line. And that should stay working. So the year to date on the right hand side should continue to work. So now with this in place, this is JSON. It can be stored. You'll also notice that this would not have been possible if I wasn't using the context to get the selected month. Again, because there'll be no way to get that global variable into the string unless it was provided as part of the parameters.